Thank you, Tom. Uh, a challenging week for us, and we knew it was going to be heading down to Florida for 2 games. We traveled out on Tuesday, got back late last night, and of course picked up a really good win at FAU. Good team, tough environment, loud atmosphere, and did some good things. Took care of the basketball. Didn't handle their pressure late, but we were able to get a win there. And then yesterday, hard-fought game, lots of adversity. USF gets off to a really good start. We counterpunched and got back into it, had our chances late, and just turned the basketball over too much over the course of that game to come away with that one. So now we're on to a home game on Wednesday. We're in the middle of a 3 out of 4 games on the road, so this is our home game of that stretch on Wednesday, and hope that our fans will be here right here with us and against a good UAB team who's 5-0 on the road right now. So we've got a lot ahead of us.
If I don't die, I'm trying not to choke. Tied back up at 49. It seemed like that you guys had just exerted so much energy at that point to get back into it. And it just felt like in that moment, even at 49, knowing there's a ton of game left, that the next couple of buckets were big in that stretch just in terms of momentum. What was kind of going through your mind at that point when you guys had fought all the way back to get it to that point?
Yeah, there was a long stretch of continuous play. We got it to 49, and then we got into some transition baskets, and I thought we took a couple shots that were a little bit quick. Maybe lower percentage shots. They were open, but just, not. We needed to settle down a little bit. We were kind of running to the end of our tank with that lineup segment just because they had been running so long. But we didn't take advantage of some of the stops that we got to then take a lead at 49, 49, and USF did. And then now we're playing catch-up again.
How long is that segment that you talk about there? Is there, you've got that running clock in your mind, and you look up and you see that they've been there and they are running out of gas. How far did it go back
Past the point where you felt like, okay, maybe we need to make some changes now just because of the way that the game flowed?
Well, we had some guys at the table to sub, and we've got a fairly consistent substitution pattern around the media timeouts. And so we had guys ready, but it got out of the first media. There was a couple stoppages. We kept that first group together, and then that game continued for almost another 2.5 minutes. And so you could tell on both sides after that segment a bunch of substitutions were made. But sometimes it's just evaluating where guys are at. It's evaluating the other stoppages of play and how much just rest that they're getting just as a part of the game.
Are there areas you still feel like that you're trying to grow into offensively even at this point in the season? And what are those?
Well, clearly, like in the last game, we turned the basketball over too much. I mean, we turned it over 14 times. They were a +7 in the turnover margin. That hurts. We've got to continue to take care of the basketball, find ways to get to the free throw line. Every game is a little bit different. And then now as you get deeper into conference play, the scouting is that much better. You see just across the country scoring is a little bit down as you get into February. It's just the games get more physical. There's more information. We got to be better at executing even when the other team knows what we're doing.
How did you handle just the overall mentality of you won that many in a row and then you drop a hard-fought game against a quality opponent? What was overall the mentality and kind of the attitude like after you walk off the floor?
Well, of course, there's disappointment where we went there to win the game and expected to win the game, expected to play well enough to win, knowing that it was going to be very tough. USF's got a really talented, good team. And then afterwards, it's getting home, and as I told the team, we've got things that we've got to get better at. That's what this is all about. We've got roughly 4 weeks until conference tournament week. And this is all about becoming the best version of us into February and March. That's what we talk about all the time. We made mistakes in that game that we made too many of them that cost us, and we've got to work hard to try to minimize those in the future.
Scouting report on UAB. We all know how difficult it is to win there, but now you come back here to host them for the second match. But what challenges do they present?
Really unique stat. I don't know if I've ever seen this, but they're 1-5 at home, but 5-0 on the road, and in conference play, which is I don't know if I've ever seen that, but they're a very good transition team. They rebound the basketball. They have a lot of athleticism. They're an attacking team. They've been a team that's been a little bit inconsistent from three. They mix up a lot of defenses, and they will just keep trying to challenge you with recognition of what they're doing and how they're doing it. But we've got to be able to bounce back. It was a long trip. We're going to watch film with the team today, and I know that UAB will absolutely have their attention just based on how tough they were at their place, but then also what they've done in other people's arenas.
Coach, you left a few free throws on the table in the game yesterday and didn't shoot well, and still you're right in there in this. I mean, shooting is something that it's not like you can say, okay, we're going to really work on shooting. You work on that all the time. So is there anything that you, other than get frustrated, can do when a team just simply gets good shots and doesn't make them?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a number of things, and we've talked about it, and I didn't want to jinx it and say, hey, we're trying to prepare for all the things to still win a game when we don't shoot well. And we didn't shoot well yesterday. You have to credit South Florida in areas of that. But then also, I think some of free throw shooting is getting the right guys to the free throw line. Our best free throw shooters didn't get there very much. We were minus 12 in attempts. We needed to get there more often. Some of that was we turned the basketball over, and you can't get fouled when you don't get a shot at the basket. So we got a good shooting team. We've got guys that are working on it individually today, and we just got to keep pressing forward.
And then you ended up holding them minus 10 of their normal average of 90, but you still, I'm sure there are things about your defense yesterday that you would have liked to have done better, I'm sure.
Yeah, the bright spot of the week down in Florida is we defended the three better, and that was something that we had talked about. We need to make people miss more often. The rebounding, defensively was better overall for the week. But, yeah, without a question, we've got to be able to defend without fouling. There's always – they got to the offensive glass, USF, very well. There's absolutely things that we've got to be able to do better.
And this league is crazy, results crazy. People winning on the road when it doesn't look like they should. In fact, I think road teams still have a better record than home teams so far. So it's kind of wild, and sometimes it's matchups. Is FAU a bad matchup for you, or is that just kind of the way they're configured doesn't necessarily jive with your team? Or, matchups are so huge in the game.
Yeah, I think both of those games. I mean, you're going on the road. You're playing against very athletic front court guys. In USF's case, we have not had an answer for Isaiah Nelson yet, and I thought we did a really nice job of defending the three. The three hurt us very much at home, but Isaiah Nelson, from the glass, from the rim running, they're a tough cover because of the gravity and pulls in both directions. Nelson rim running, and he's such a lob threat. I mean, his catch radius is huge. And then the three-point shooting that they have. But that's where I see we've got to figure out if we're able to play them again, we're going to have another way of doing it to try to limit some of their play. And then we got to play better offense too. They're trapping, their pressure. I thought we just made some poor decisions.
You mentioned the turnover issue. How do you address that now at this point in the season?
Yeah, you continue to watch it. You take a look. It's the greatest thing about basketball is every game can be different. There's so many different ways of playing defense and then ways to attack. And so typically turnovers come from a number of directions, bad balance, bad decision making. And both had parts in yesterday's performance. And we've got to be able to look at the decisions that we made, not just the man with the ball, but then how the teammates are creating outlets to make good passes and go on to the next play. But turnovers, among anything else, on either side of the ball, like in any sport, you got to be able to protect that basketball to give yourself a chance.
Overall, how do you feel the attrition of the team is, both mentally and physically? Guys are in full swing of classes and got a lot of games coming down the stretch.
Yeah, February's a big month. I mean, there's, as I told the guys, we always want to be masters of what we can control, and then be able to finish the season and keep getting better and better. There's so many things from sleep and hydration and nutrition weather changes, all those types of things, trying to stay healthy. Our guys are spending an incredible amount of time with Bryce Cox, our strength and conditioning coach, Emily Nelson, our athletic trainer. All those things are really important. And then staying on top of class too. And this is a place that, guys are going to class. They've got real classes to take, and when you miss class, it's not going away, as I told them. And so they've got some things to catch up on from this last trip.
Was it to see, Ade's had some games where he's had the volume where he shoots a lot, gets a lot of good looks, the ball just doesn't go in the net, and yesterday the ball just went in the net, hits 8 threes, and he also grabs 8 rebounds both games last week. Talk about what kind of confidence that could help to have, everybody's noticed this year it's David, Miles, Tylen, but if Ade can knock down some threes at that rate, what's that do for the offense?
Well, I think that the way that they were guarding Tylen, they were really looking to bottle him up, try to prevent dribble penetration, and the guys did a nice job of swinging it, moving it, and even off offensive rebounds. We crashed the glass very hard, and Tyler Barron found Ade twice for kick-out threes. We call them daggers, and Ade's got a pretty jump shot, and he was aggressive. And we've said from the very beginning that he's a green light shooter for us. Anytime he's got his feet set and thinks he can make that shot, he should shoot it because he's a special shooter.